What if the very thing you believe gives you control is actually the root of your suffering? Have you ever noticed that the tighter you hold on, the faster things fall apart? And what if the peace you're chasing doesn't come from holding on, but from learning how to let go? Let's be honest. How many times have you tried to control life, only to feel like it's slipping right through your fingers? We often believe that controlling every detail will protect us from fear, uncertainty, and chaos. We plan, predict, and overthink. We micromanage our schedules, our relationships, our futures, thinking that maybe, just maybe, we can outsmart the unknown. But the more we grip, the more anxious we feel. The more we try to force stability, the more unsteady life becomes. Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." It's such a simple sentence, but it hits deep, because in truth, it's not life that overwhelms us. It's our resistance to how life flows. When things begin to wobble, when relationships change, when plans fall apart, we don't soften our grip. We clench tighter. We run endless mental simulations. What if this happens? What if that doesn't work out? We brace for every scenario, hoping that preparation will equal peace. But does it ever? The truth is, life was never meant to be predictable. It moves like water, always shifting, never static. And yet, we try to bottle it, box it, tame it, and then we wonder why we feel so exhausted. So here's the real question. How much of your stress, your fear, your sleepless nights come not from life itself, but from your attempt to control what was never yours to control? This video isn't just about letting go. It's about becoming mentally and emotionally stronger by learning how to let go. You'll discover a subtle shift in mindset, one that helped monks remain calm during chaos, warriors stay grounded in battle, and sages throughout time find stillness in sorrow. Yes, life is wild. It turns without warning. It doesn't ask for permission or give you a heads up. But once you understand one powerful idea, the weight you carry begins to lift. Everything feels a little lighter. And suddenly, the chaos? It starts to make sense. And if you stay with us until the end, there's a bonus lesson that might just shift the way you live your everyday life. It's not just powerful, it's freeing. Let's begin. 1. Let go or be dragged. Now pause and reflect for a moment. How many times has your suffering come not from the situation itself, but from your desperate need to control it? There's a timeless teaching in Buddhism, easy to say, yet incredibly hard to live. Let go or be dragged. Imagine this. You're holding on to a burning coal. It's scalding hot, but you refuse to let it go, thinking that if you hold on tighter, maybe it'll cool down. Instead, it burns deeper. That's exactly what we do with anger, guilt, regret, and fear. We clutch them as if they'll give us safety, but all they truly give is pain. Buddhism doesn't ask you to hide your feelings or pretend you're okay. It simply invites you to stop attaching to them. It's a gentle yet radical shift, one that can change your entire life. You only lose what you cling to. That single line cuts through the noise of our modern world like a beam of clarity. But many still confuse letting go with giving up, as if surrendering to life means weakness. The truth is the opposite. It's resistance that traps you, and it's acceptance that sets you free. How many times have you replayed a moment, wishing it had gone differently? Whether it's anxiety about tomorrow, guilt over yesterday, or frustration with where you are today, it's not the moment that hurts, it's your refusal to accept it. Zen wisdom captures it simply. Let go or be dragged. But let's pause for a moment and reflect. What does that dragging really feel like? It's that heavy pull inside your chest, that mental exhaustion that comes from replaying the past or trying to control a future that hasn't even arrived. It's not life that's dragging you. It's your resistance to what already is. In today's world, we are constantly taught that more control equals more peace. Plan everything. Prepare for the worst. Be one step ahead. But even when everything is in place, don't you still feel uneasy sometimes? That gnawing restlessness, like something inside you just can't settle into the unknown. That's where suffering begins. Not in the chaos outside, but in your inability to sit quietly with uncertainty. Real peace doesn't live in perfect answers. It lives in that quiet space inside you where you stop pushing, stop fixing, and finally allow things to unfold, naturally, honestly, imperfectly. So ask yourself this: what am I holding on to so tightly that it's quietly tearing me apart from within? Is it a belief that no longer serves you? A version of your identity that no longer fits who you've become? Or maybe it's a future timeline you thought you should have reached by now? The deeper truth is this: the more tightly you grip, the heavier life becomes. Here's a small but powerful shift to try. The next time you're overwhelmed, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What am I still clinging to?" Sometimes that one question is enough to start breaking the invisible chains. Right now, just pause. Breathe. Is there something inside you? A tension you've ignored, a truth you've buried, a memory you're afraid to face? Maybe, just maybe, this is the moment to release it. Not because the outside world will instantly fall into place, but because you'll finally stop fighting what already is. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about growing past the illusion that you need to control everything to be okay. It's about walking through the storm and no longer demanding the weather to change. It's realizing that peace doesn't come from perfect outcomes. It comes from standing calmly in the middle of the unknown, with your eyes open, your heart steady, and your grip released. And the moment you truly let go, not just in thought, but in the way you live and breathe, you'll see life doesn't become easier because chaos disappears. It becomes easier because you're no longer clinging to the flame. Peace begins, not when life changes, but when you stop resisting the life that already is. Number 2, observe without absorbing. Storms never send a warning. They just arrive, sudden, fierce, and wild. But have you ever noticed what the sky does? It never fights the storm. It doesn't try to push away the thunder or hold back the rain. It simply holds space. It allows the winds to blow, the clouds to gather, and still, it remains untouched. Your mind has the power to do the same. When you stop trying to control every storm, when you stop reacting to every wave, you become the calm awareness that holds it all. This is the art of observing without absorbing. It's a quiet, powerful skill, and in a world full of noise, it might be the most important one of all. Distractions tug at your focus, emotions beg for your attention. But peace comes when you learn this truth. You don't have to become every feeling that passes through you. It's the difference between getting lost in the waves and learning how to surf them. You are not your anxiety. You are not your frustration. Those feelings, they're like clouds drifting across a vast sky. They come and go. But you are the sky. The real you is not the storm. It's the space in which the storm appears and eventually fades. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." At first glance, it sounds poetic, something you'd find on a wall poster. But this isn't just a quote to admire, it's a survival skill, especially in our noisy, fast-paced world where chaos is just one headline, one notification, or one conversation away. If you keep chasing peace from the outside, hoping to find it in perfect schedules, in others' approval, in the news, or in how smoothly your day unfolds, you'll constantly feel let down. Because life never stops spinning. And people, they change, forget, and disappoint. But here's the shift that matters. Your mind doesn't have to absorb every bump along the way. Picture this. You're in a crowded, noisy room. Thoughts are loud, emotions louder. Someone's comment stings. Another task just landed on your lap. The pressure builds, but instead of spiraling, you pause. You take one deep, conscious breath, and you whisper to yourself, "This is just a thought. I don't have to believe it." Suddenly, something shifts. You're no longer drowning in the noise. You become the calm beneath the chaos, the stillness behind the storm. Each day offers you moments like that, small windows of peace if you know where to look. When someone's words trigger you, when your mind starts replaying old fears, when the world just feels too much. In those moments, pause and ask, do I really have to react? Or can I simply notice this and let it pass? That one pause, that sacred second, is where peace begins. Most people live like sponges. They soak in every insult, every negative comment, every flicker of worry, holding on to it like it defines them. No wonder they feel so heavy, so drained, so overwhelmed. But you don't have to carry everything. You can choose to be the witness, the steady presence that sees the waves but doesn't jump in. When your mind is calm enough to observe without attaching, you experience what Buddhists call mindfulness. Not just during meditation, not just in silence, but in how you walk, how you speak, how you respond, moment by moment. You become like a mountain, grounded, rooted, unshaken by every passing breeze. Now imagine your life shaped by that kind of clarity. Imagine walking through a chaotic day and not absorbing every complaint, every flicker of doubt, every careless remark. Not because you're cold or numb, but because you've learned to protect your peace. You're not shutting down your heart. You're simply not giving it away to every passing thought. Once you begin to live this way, once you master the art of watching without becoming, you don't just survive the storm anymore. You rise above it, because strong minds don't fight the wind. They rise by becoming the sky. Number 3, care deeply, but not widely. There's another form of quiet suffering many of us carry. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, but it drains us, slowly, steadily. It's the kind of pain that comes from trying to care about everything and everyone, all at once. You want to be kind, helpful, present. You want to support your loved ones, stay informed, be emotionally available. But somewhere along the way, your energy starts to fade. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring too widely. It's like trying to light every room in a giant mansion with just one small candle. The flame flickers, the light dims. Buddhism offers a simple but profound reminder. Care deeply, but not widely. It doesn't mean you should stop caring. It means you must learn to care wisely. To care without limits isn't strength. It's a fast road to burnout. To care with intention, that's clarity, that's balance, that's sustainability. We live in an age of constant noise. One moment it's a breaking headline. The next, It's a trending opinion, then a text, an expectation, a comment thread that tugs at your peace. We are pulled in every direction by causes, conversations, emotions, responsibilities, until we forget who we were before the world began asking so much of us. And in the effort to be everywhere, for everyone, we quietly lose ourselves. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't come from fixing every problem. It comes from knowing which problems are actually yours to hold. There's a simple, powerful question you can ask yourself to reclaim your balance. Am I giving my energy to what nourishes me or to what drains me? Because the world will always want more. It will always send more messages, more news, more fires to put out. But you don't have to answer every call. You don't need to run toward every fire just to prove you have warmth. Think of the story of the Zen monk who was once asked how he remained so calm while the world around him was in turmoil. He simply smiled and said, "Because I know what's mine to carry and what isn't." That kind of clarity? That's not coldness. That's wisdom in motion. In a culture that glorifies burnout, praises being always available, and confuses exhaustion with virtue, setting boundaries becomes an act of sacred self-respect. Saying no doesn't make you distant. It makes you honest. And when you say no to what doesn't align with your soul, what you're really saying is yes. Yes to your values, your well-being, your peace. This is the quiet art of protecting your light. It's not selfish, it's necessary. So take a moment to reflect. Are you investing your energy where it truly matters? Are you giving your voice to arguments that don't deserve it? Are you offering your time to people who leave you feeling empty? In Buddhist teaching, compassion is never blind. It's not about pouring yourself into everything. It's about seeing clearly what's worthy of your presence. Audit your heart. Trace the path of your care. Are you trying to fix something that was never broken? Are you carrying someone else's pain like it's your purpose? If so, it's okay to put it down. It's okay to be focused, not because you're uncaring, but because you care enough to choose with intention. You don't need to stretch yourself thin to be good. You don't need to chase every headline or answer every message to be kind. What you do need is to guard your peace, to protect your flame, to tend to what's truly yours with love and clarity. Because when your care becomes intentional, your light doesn't burn out, it burns brighter. Number 4, the freedom of non-attachment. Right now, there may be something in your life that feels unbearably heavy. Maybe it's a dream you're chasing with clenched fists, a version of yourself you're afraid to outgrow, or a relationship that no longer fits, but you're holding on anyway. That weight you feel? It's not coming from the world. It's coming from the grip you have on how you think things should be. And that, right there, is the silent trap of attachment. Non-attachment often gets misunderstood. Some think it means detachment, numbness, or walking away. But the truth couldn't be more different. Non-attachment isn't cold. It's not about giving up on people or things that matter. It's actually one of the deepest, most powerful expressions of love. It's a love that doesn't cling, a love that doesn't panic when things begin to shift, a love that understands that change isn't loss. It's life unfolding, moment by moment. Picture this, a single autumn leaf drifting down a gentle river. It doesn't fight the flow. It doesn't try to paddle upstream or cling to the shore. It simply allows itself to be carried, twirling, dancing, floating in rhythm with the current. That's what non-attachment looks like. Not indifference, not escape, but trust. Not weakness, but surrender with strength. And when you stop trying to control the current, when you stop swimming against every twist and turn of life, something beautiful begins to happen. You discover peace, not by fixing everything, but by flowing with everything. So much of our suffering doesn't come from what actually happens. It comes from our expectations, the inner script we keep trying to force life to follow, even though life never agreed to our version of the story. We believe we have to be the one who succeeds, the one who stays strong, the one who always keeps it together. But when reality doesn't fit that picture, it doesn't just hurt our pride, it shakes our sense of worth. But here's a truth that changes everything. You can chase your dreams passionately without attaching your identity to them. You can love someone deeply without holding them in a chokehold. You can live fully, joyfully, without needing life to stay the same. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It simply means you stop trying to control what was never meant to be controlled. It's the quiet courage to say, I trust the unfolding. I accept what is. And when you do that, when you release the grip, you'll feel it. A lightness, a soft relief, like putting down a burden you didn't even realize you were carrying. And in that space that opens up, that's where unexpected treasures arrive. Clarity, stillness, truth. So ask yourself gently, what am I clinging to right now that's creating tension within me? Is it an outdated version of yourself you feel pressured to maintain? A plan that keeps slipping through your fingers no matter how hard you try? A fear of what you might lose if you finally let go? Whatever it is, remember this. You won't find peace by holding on tighter. You'll find it by softening your grip. Every day offers you tiny chances to practice this. When a plan falls apart, can you pause instead of panic? When someone disagrees with you, can you listen without grabbing hold of your ego? When uncertainty knocks at your door, can you greet it with curiosity instead of fear? That's the essence of non-attachment. It doesn't mean abandoning your values. It means standing so confidently in them that you no longer need to control every outcome. After all, you don't drown because you fall into the water. You drown because you refuse to let go. Life will always move. It flows whether we like it or not. And your peace, it depends on whether you fight that motion or finally learn to float with it. Letting go isn't giving up, it's waking up. Lesson 5. Respond, don't react. There's a sacred space, a tiny breath between what life throws at you and how you choose to meet it. And in that subtle gap lives something powerful. Your calm, your clarity, your freedom. We've all had those moments. The words come flying out, the emotions erupt, and before we even realize it, regret has already set in. Why did I say that? Why did I let that get to me? It's a common pattern, one that ancient wisdom, especially in Buddhism, invites us to gently shift. Don't react, respond. At first, it sounds simple, but it holds transformative power. Imagine a still, glassy lake on a calm morning. The water mirrors the sky with perfect clarity. But stir the surface, and that reflection disappears into ripples and distortion. That's exactly how the mind works. When it's still, you see clearly. But when it's agitated, insight vanishes into confusion. Think back to the last time you were triggered. Someone insulted you. A plan collapsed. Life threw you an unexpected curveball. Your body tensed, your breath turned shallow, and before you had a chance to think, you snapped. But what if, in that exact moment, you had paused? What if you had taken just one conscious breath, one full second of stillness? You'd still feel the emotion, but you wouldn't become it. That single breath, that pause, it's everything. That's where your awareness lives. That's the birthplace of wisdom. The Buddha taught, "Do not let the actions of others disturb your inner peace." But here's the key. That kind of peace can only exist when you choose to stay rooted in your own center. When you learn to stand firm in your inner stillness, even when the world tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. So ask yourself honestly, am I acting from emotion or choosing with awareness? One path leads to pain, apology, and inner turmoil. The other leads to strength, clarity, and peace. Reactions are impulsive, emotional, defensive. Responses are thoughtful, steady, wise. Reacting is a reflex, driven by fear or ego. Responding is a skill, born from awareness and presence. And presence can only exist when you're awake in the moment, when you create that tiny space between what happens and how you meet it. Picture a monk sitting calmly in the middle of a chaotic street market. Children are laughing and crying, vendors are shouting, dogs are barking, noise swirls everywhere. Yet the monk is still. He doesn't ignore the noise, he's fully aware of it, but he's anchored, rooted. He's not letting the outer world pull his inner world apart. That's the power of responding. To remain unshaken in a world that never stops shaking. Life will test you. People will push your buttons. Obstacles will pop up without warning. But here's the real question. Can you stay centered in the storm? Can you hold on to stillness even when surrounded by noise? Next time your anger rises, your anxiety flares, or frustration bubbles to the surface, pause. Just one breath, just 1 second of conscious silence. That's all it takes to move from pouring gasoline on a fire to being the one who calms the flames. Because mindfulness isn't passive, it's not soft, it's not retreat, it's a daily discipline. The strength to feel your emotions without becoming them, to observe without absorbing. That's real power. Not the kind that controls others, but the kind that masters yourself. True strength doesn't come from loud reactions. It comes from quiet decisions. Real power isn't about how forcefully you speak, but about how gracefully you respond. Bonus lesson: the power of being here. In a world that constantly pulls your mind to the past or flings it into the future, what would happen if you simply returned to now? Take a moment to reflect. How often do you find your mind drifting, lost in worries about what might go wrong tomorrow, or tangled in regrets about something you said, did, or didn't do yesterday? It happens so easily. You replay conversations in your head. You worry about outcomes you can't control. You plan, predict, and try to prepare for every possibility. And meanwhile, life, real life, is happening right now, and you're missing it. Both the past and the future are illusions. One no longer exists. The other hasn't even arrived. So all the stress you're carrying, the tension in your chest, the racing thoughts, they aren't coming from reality. They're coming from your absence in the present. But here's the turning point. The moment you truly realize this, something inside you shifts. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. You stop saying, "I'll be happy when." You stop tying your peace to some distant moment in time. Instead, you begin to arrive, fully, completely, right here. You begin to feel the richness of this breath, this heartbeat, this moment. This is where your power lives, not in what was, not in what could be, but in what is. Because right now is the only place where joy happens, where peace exists, where love is felt and meaning is made. So, here's a challenge. Just for today, just for one small moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and become aware of everything around you, the feel of the air, the quiet sounds in the background, the rise and fall of your breath. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to fix, solve, or achieve. Just be. This simple act, this presence, builds resilience. It strengthens your mind. It trains your awareness to return home again and again. You begin to see that peace was never something to chase. It was always here, waiting for you to notice it. And then the magic begins. You start to see beauty in ordinary things. The warmth of your morning coffee, a kind word from a friend, the light filtering through the trees. You realize that the moment itself is enough. Being present doesn't mean giving up on your goals or ignoring your challenges. It means you're no longer waiting for life to be different in order to feel alive. You're living now, even while growing, healing, and striving. So here's the bonus lesson. True peace isn't something you find when life finally aligns. It's what you feel when you stop demanding life to be different. Freedom comes the moment you accept reality, not because you've given up, but because you've come home to this moment. From now on, whenever anxiety creeps in or overwhelm threatens to take over, remember, you can always come back. Back to now, back to your breath, back to the present, the only place peace has ever lived. As we close this journey together, let me leave you with this. Peace is not a destination, it's a practice, a choice, a way of seeing. The strength to transform your life begins with simple shifts. Letting go, observing without absorbing, caring wisely, responding, not reacting, and returning again and again to the present. These aren't just teachings, they're tools, and every time you use them, you build a mind that is both strong and serene, unshakable, and deeply at peace. But remember, this is only the beginning. Each mindful step is a victory. Each moment of awareness is a seed. So keep going, keep practicing, keep coming back to yourself. And if this video offered you clarity or calm, I invite you, please like, share, and subscribe to Buddhism Seeds. Together, we'll continue to explore timeless truths, wisdom to help you live with presence, purpose, and peace. And I'd truly love to hear from you in the comments below. Share your thoughts, your experiences, or a moment when you felt a shift. Your story might just help someone else find their own center. Thank you for being here. Until next time, remember, Buddhism Seeds is always within you.